So I've been slacking on the weekly fishing report, had a lot of stuff going on, doctor's appointments, all that jazz. But either way, make it really simple for you guys, super quick, super easy. Right now is a great time to be on the water. There is going to be, well, it kind of depends on where you're at. You may just now be starting that fall transition, and you may, start being on the back end of it. That's kind of where we're at right now. So right now is a great time to be out fishing because you can just go out and catch a ton of fish if you want to. Now, if I'm targeting, a lot of bites, then I'm typically going to use those smaller shad type baits, like tail spinners and flukes and, all that fun stuff. But now if I'm targeting those bigger bites, I'm typically going to go for something like flipping laydowns or cranking steep banks. Now, when it comes to flipping laydowns, I typically want to target isolated pieces of laydown. So I'm not looking for a bank that's 400 yards long that's got 30 or 40 laydowns on it. I'm looking for that bank that's 300 to 400 yards long that's got like 3 laydowns. Now, when it comes to cranking the steep banks and stuff, I want you to pay real close attention when you catch a fish, okay? So are you catching these fish, as soon as that channel starts to swing really hard? Are you catching them right on the transition zone where it goes from a flat to a steep bank? Are you catching them on isolated pieces of grass that, may be coming up on your lake, or, rocks that stick out a little bit further than the rest of them? That's something to pay real close attention to. That's typically how I'm going to, target those bigger bites. But this is a great time to be on the water because, you're catching these fish as they're moving in deeper in the creeks, or you're catching these fish as they move out towards the main lake. They're heading towards their winter hunts and they're feeding up for winter right now. If you're just now in the part where, the fall turnover is really starting to pick up as that thermocline starts to come up, your water temperature is really starting to cool down, then it's just kind of going to be tough fishing. Just cover tons of water with your flat-sided crankbaits and stuff like that, and you'll eventually bump into them. And a lot of times it'll force you to fish areas that you typically wouldn't fish, so it makes it a little bit easier to find fish. And the best part about it is once you find them, you can kind of just follow them out to wherever they're going to go, for the winter. So, just pay real close attention to how you're catching fish. And once you find those fish, make sure to keep up with them as you're going into winter. I know it's time for deer hunters to be in the woods and all that stuff. So I know a lot of people are hunting. But right now, honestly, if you just kind of got a break and you just, hey, I want to go fishing this weekend, this would be a great time to do that because you're going to catch a lot of fish. But either way, guys, I appreciate it. I'll see you next week. Love y'all.